Now is it time for me to go to visit the mosque. Tomorrow in the morning, early in the morning, am I going to drive to the mosque, but not the big built mosque. It's only a normal little house they are in before it's finished the work on the big mosque. And I'm not sure what will. Of course, I don't know what will happen tomorrow, but I have to go there in faith. I am a cover of the afterlife. They go in to help me to understand what is going on tomorrow. They are like other religions in Abraham religion, that they separate women and men. So it's not good for the way I was thinking it should be, because now I have been for many years in a Christian church, and there is no separating. It can be in some churches, some couples have to be separated because some churches doesn't want a couple to hold a hand if they are not married. So it can be a little strife in the Christian church also. And so this is, I think, is September 27, and 2023. And I live in Sweden, and it was something I was thinking about, because I have thinking many times what to say and what to do in this mosque, what to do. And for me, as a woman, I can only be in the women's part of the mosque. So the men doesn't hear what I'm saying. If not, the women is going to tell them. And I think they don't do it. I have make some of the women's upset. And I know it can be dangerous that they are upset. But I need to visit them anyway. And I recording now because I want waiting for some spirit to come and tell me if it's not okay to walk in the morning and to the mosque, and they are going to a prayer together. And they say that they don't pray in Swedish, they pray in Arabic. They move move in that way of Muhammad and the Arabic languages. And I have started to read the Quran I got yesterday. I have started to. I can't read like before, but I can read a small part of it and then rest my brain and then go back and read more. And I don't really understand what I'm reading, even if it's Swedish, because it says in the book, in the beginning, I start with the first page, so I read what the book is about, and it says that some words in Arabic can't be translated to Swedish, so it be a little like a hack in the understanding when it's mixed of Swedish and Arabic. And then they tell me all the time, and I have just read it, that you should not lie. It says that in the Quran. But they lie to me every time we are talking about the Quran, because they tell me that Quran is the only book that is not translated or changed in their what is about what the words and these things. And that is a lie, because it says in the book, it's not me that say that. I read that the book says that it have been translated in many ways in Swedish. They have translated, and then people can tell them that this is wrong, what you write in Quran. So they say that it changed because they have translated wrong. Is it what people tell them? So it's a lie that they say that Quran is the oldest book that had never been changed. But it have been changed when it's translated. If it should be changed, it should never be changed. Then they should have that in Arabic and no other languages, because it be in translation. Some words, as they say in Quran, those that have make the Quran in Swedish, they say that some words in Arabic can't be translated. So that's also this, that they say that it's accurate. It is no error in what we read. And I can't read every words because it's Arabic word and you can't translate it to Swedish. And when I was young, they say that the Arabic languages have not a real word for love. I don't know. I will see if when I read the Quran, if it says love or it says in another way. For us that have the word love in our languages is an expression of emotional for one person, and also it can be said for things also that you love that, but that is not real love for something dead, something like I love that picture. That is not love. So they don't really understand what love is. And if I will see when I read the Quran, if love as we say it in. And I know when I was married in the United States, I was irritated on my husband. I was married in Texas, and I asked him, because he say, I love you to all kind of people, not only dead things, but also to other people. And I asked him, when am I one of many people that you say I love you to? When do you tell me that you love me in the way that only you and me have emotional to each other? Where is that way to say I love you? Because you say I love you not only to animals, but I love you to other people. Most women, because he was flirting very much to women. He loved to flirt with women. And he say, I love you. And I'd be irritated because where is I love you for me? And that he couldn't explain because that was what he was growing up. So that is different. Here in Sweden, nowadays we say I love you to all kind of people, but that it was not before. I have coming with television movies from United States, so they have copied, but that we didn't have that here in Sweden. When I was a child, I never heard my parents telling me that they loved me. And it was not what we say here in Sweden. But we knew the word, I love you. We knew what it means. So it's not the same as the Arabic, that they not understand that word, love. And before, I couldn't find. I thought, when they say that, I thought it's wrong. They only say that, but I tried to find it, the translation, love to Arabic, and I never find it. But as it is today, that many books are changed and translated in another way. Like I say, they have watched the movies and have heard it, so they take it into their languages. And it's a spirit coming in now, so that is very good. And then was it something I was thinking about, that some people say that, how do you know God is talking to you? They say that, and I say I recognize his voice. And I was thinking today, how can I recognize his voice? And then I remember, it take me a time to remember, because I was only 16 years old when God was talking to me. So it's far away in time for me to remember. But it was this where he maybe have talked to me before, when now I'm full of the Spirit in my whole chest. And it maybe he have talked to me when I was a child, maybe when I was killed over my adopted sister. Maybe he talked to me, but I have forgotten it because I was only 2-3 years old. But I remember that he was talking to me when I sit in the hospital. I had taken a little girl that I work with, that I take care of. I have taken her to the hospital, and the nurse have taken her in to the doctor, and I sit in the waiting room. And before the nurse was leaving, she said that it was a girl in one room, and she sit and say in Swedish, goodbye, hello, goodbye, hello, goodbye, hello. That was the only thing she said. And the nurse knew I was confused and wondering what it was, a little worried. And the nurse said to me that don't be scared of her. She sit and say this the whole day long, but she can't come out to you because she can't walk. The nurse say that to me. And then I heard God. Suddenly God's voice come in the air when I was sitting and waiting in the waiting room. And he said I should go into that girl's room that couldn't walk. So I went into that room because God was saying that to me. And I can't say no to what God is telling me. I need to obey. Even if I didn't knew God, I was not in a religion. I had just been in Salvation Army, but that was not much about God in that church. It was only to be together with other kids and playing. But I left Salvation Army Church when I was about 14 years old. So it was a gap there. So I didn't know God. But I heard God saying, and I needed to obey. So I went into that room where the girls was sitting. And then I heard voice to tell me to lay hand on her head, because she said to me, and I don't know today, I think it was someone else was talking for her, as she could only say 2 words. So, but a voice said to me that I should feel her skull, and I lay my hand on her skull, and there was a big hole. There were no skull there. It was soft, very soft. And when I laid a hand on her, she was saying, but of course it was another voice, I think, that say that to me, that I have been in a car accident, and my parents was killed. And then she say very sadly to me, "Now am I on my own. I am by myself. I have no one in the world." She say very sad. And then I heard the nurse come with a little girl outside the door, so I went away. And in that way I knew God's voice to me, because he said that he was talking to me when I was 16 years old. And so in the year 2000, when I shake with my voice because the Spirit is here, that make me be a little weak in my speaking. And in year 2000, was it a voice that was talking to me? It was not a person that was standing in my home and talked to me. I only heard a voice, and I recognize that voice, the same voice that was telling me at the hospital to go and heal that girl, because she was healed. And before I left the apartment where the children was, before I left that girl, I hold my hand on her head. She come out walking, and they be shocked. All the nurses and doctors come out from the room, because the nurse was screaming so much, "It's a miracle, it's a miracle." And I didn't know why she was screaming, because I was on my way to take that little girl from her. So I didn't see what's happened behind me. But when she was screaming like that, the nurse, I turned around, and then I saw that girl was walking. And those doctor and nurses was surrounding her, look at her and talk to her. So she must have could talk after the healing. But I was working, and I wanted to be off work. So I went away. I didn't stop and wait for them to talk to me. They were around that girl that was healed. And I went out from the hospital. And so I know God's voice. I know when God is talking to me. And it's time for let this Spirit talking. And I don't know if the Spirit will... Now it's the breathing also. He went in now, really into me, the Spirit. I don't know if the Spirit is going to talk about that I am going to visit the mosque, or if it's something else. The Spirit wants to talk to me. Now he's showing himself for me a little. He's very tall. He's almost up to the ceiling, and he have a crown on his head, and it is God. It is God that is here now, because it's the same that was sitting on the throne when I was hypnotized, when I got the hypnosis, and I went up to heaven, and I went into the throne room where God was sitting, and this is the same one that's standing here. And it was hard for me to know how tall he was, because I was standing on the floor, and I only guess it was 100 steps up to the throne, and it was nothing to hold in. It was nothing that I could hold my hand on the side when I was walking. So I say to God that I can't walk up to you. I say to him. And when I say that, it come a red carpet rolling down from the throne and to my feet, where I'm standing on the floor. And I didn't need to come up. He did bow down and go down, like still sitting on the throne, but he was so tall, so he have this stuff, this golden, like a king have, and he touched my shoulder on each side, and I think he did it on my head also. He appointed me to be some worker for him, and it is the same one. He can make himself in any size, because it's a spirit. It's not a real body, it's a spirit body, because he wants me to know who he is that is visiting here. And he said this to me now: do not fear, he say. Do not fear. Don't be frightened. And then he say, I will lead you. I will lead you. So this is not afterlife, those ancestors that is talking now. It's God himself. And he say he should lead me. And I ask him inside my mind why those in afterlife can't lead me. Why do God have to lead me? And he say that they have been human. That's why they can't lead me in this special way. It's a dangerous way. and it must be a walk in this with the mosque. He say they are those in afterlife. They have been human, so sometimes they're thinking like a human. And I have told you also many times that when they coming closer to Earth, they go weak. They going back to their bodies that they had when they live here on Earth. So those angels that is coming down here, that walk with us, they can be killed. And that's why people have told me sometimes that they have seen angels sitting and crying over a body, a dead body. And it's about the whole situation. I don't know really what they were telling when they talk about this. That it was not about that person that died, because that person that died, it will come to a better place. And the spirit, the angel, they know it. Or they crying because they have failed to protect this person and make that person do what they should do here on earth. They have not fulfilled what they should have done. They have not walking in God's plan. They are walking in God's plan, but they have not fulfilled it because they have looked too much of what is going on in this world, and they have copied the world and more than to stay focused on God. Now it was like a star. It was a star, and I feel much stronger a spirit's touch on me, and I know who it is, because it is not showing up like God now showing up, but that stars is the energy. They have coming here. Both God and his mother is here now. So it must be very, very special with the mosque there. But I don't know what it is. And I should go like a blindness of the earthly thing, and only go with the faith and go with the obey God, and the star make me be stronger. They say that I need to have more power in me for tomorrow, because I can be killed, because there was evil women there, and I have no protection, I don't have any visible protection. I am on my own going into that mosque, so everything can happen. They can kill me and throw me away in the forest, and because they don't see any protection. But I know since before I have been in this dangerous situation that I was very close to be killed, but God have coming and cast them away, threw them away from me. Don't touch her. And they be scared of it because they don't see it coming. And that can happen tomorrow. It's this that they separate men and women, and so the man doesn't know what's going on between women. Oh, and that can be dangerous for me. There is two women that is good women, but then is it two that is evil, that really want to kick me out from that place. And I hear from you that listen to me. You ask, why are you doing this? Why are you doing these dangerous things? And you have you not listened at those chapter I have talking about why I doing these things, or you have forgotten what I have told you about, that I was on my way to do a suicide in year 2000, and just before I should go out and go into the water out in the harbor and jump to the water and kill myself. Just before I went out, God come and talk to me, and He changed my way to think. So I had one way to go into the water and kill myself, or else go away from everything, leaving everything behind me, leaving everything I have had in my life, leaving everything, leaving my husband, leaving my children, leaving my work and home, even leaving my country to start over, to be a clean vessel for God. And that some people have told me that other people have done the same, but they haven't, because they should not they are frightened to do these things, because I was not in drugs. I didn't do any drugs, and I was not mentally sick when I left everything behind me. They should never could leave everything behind them. I have some friends before God come. I could read books just before God come, and He took away all these things and I come to United States homeless. I had nothing. I think it was $50 I had in my pocket. And those money I had on the bank, because I have a good job. I had money on the bank. But we had decided, my husband and I, to have uh, the same bank account. It was very stupid of me, but I was raised to do everything for a man, so I didn't say no when he said we should have the same bank account. And when he find out that I have left him, he go to the bank immediately and told them to cut off me from the bank account. So he only owned the bank account, and I had money coming into my bank account, but that he took all the money. He took everything from the home and sold it. And he didn't sold everything because he let my evil son live with him. My son was living with him 1 year, and they didn't pay any rent for the apartment. So when I come back after 3.5 years to Sweden, I had lots of bills that they have done because I didn't took away any bills. I only left. And those bills coming in and me to pay those bills. And no one pays the bills. So that's why I am in debt. I have lots of money to pay back from that time. So I can't rent anything here in Sweden because they check out if I have credits and if I can pay the bills, and I can't pay the bills because I'm so poor, and then I don't I have lots of bills that need to be paid from year 2000, and that 1 year where they lived together, my son and my husband, and then my husband be kicked out from Sweden and have to go back to United States. So those bills was only in the air. They were sending the bills, and they didn't know that I didn't live in Sweden. I lived in United States and couldn't pay the bills. It's only a move up to a real big pile for me to pay when I come back to Sweden. And when I come back to Sweden, I didn't have any money. And I had to go to the social department and ask for money to could survive in Sweden. So I got very, very little money to survive. So there was no any money to could pay the bills. So it was still ticking in the bills when I come back to Sweden, and I couldn't pay. And I was very sick. After I come back to Sweden, I was very, very sick. And it took me many years to recover from it, what I have going through in United States. All this trying to kill me. I was kidnapped. I was locked in a house. I had gun on my head. I had knife on my throat. I was raped. It was very much things that happened in those 3.5 years. And I was in the court 4 times because the police helped me and from to be killed. And I have to go to the court and talk about it, whatever happened. when they wanted to kill me. And it was not only drug people. One of those trying to kill me was a pastor. So it had nothing to do as they were as a person in the status. They were only evil, working for the devil. It was 2 pastors I had a very bad with. One pastor, he say I had cancer in my body. He wanted to place cancer in my body. So it was very much, and I was sick. So I recovered from it, and I got medicine later on. But I was homeless in, I think it was 11 years here in Sweden. So it was not nice to come back to this country. And United States have never helped me with any $1, and the United States have not helped me to survive. No church have helped me to survive in United States. I was about in 3-4 churches every day to ask for help, but no one helped me. No church was helping me. That's why I am today this. If I have got help from a church, I maybe should have been in that church and believe what they believe in. But I didn't get any help from no church, no pastor, no church people. It's terrible. And I got help, and that was about money, but it was not money I needed. I needed to have a safe place to stay and could start to work. I work, but it was always something coming that made me not could work. So I get any health plan of my work. They fire me just when they should start with this health care plan. So I never got it. So I be more and more sick in my body, and I couldn't get any help. And I don't get any help today more than the psoriasis I have. That people can't see that I have psoriasis. That medicine I have got because I did a healing at the hospital, and they find out that I had done a healing in the hospital, and they told me that I should get the medicine I have had now in 9 years now, psoriasis medicine, like a cancer medicine, and Stellara is the name. And they gave me that because they saw that I healed that girl that was there that should have been dead if I have not laying hand on her. So that is something people don't know, that I have this healing power in my hands, and it's from when I was killed of my adopted sister. And so there is more than only, I'm sorry, God, for saying that. It's not only, it's special that I can hear from you. And but the second thing I have is the healing power. And now God is saying to me that I need to send healing to you that listen. And the healing can be not, doesn't need to be a sickness in the body. It can be a mental sickness, but it can be in your situation also. A healing, the healing, I don't want to do the healing for money, but I can say in that way that make a healing so you be comfort in your life, so you have some kind of income that is not about drugs or alcoholic or stealing, do negative things. It's positive things. The healing will become here, and it will be because I have God here in my room here. So it will be for you, and it is some that you walk in the wrong direction. You are like a crab. You're walking backwards in your life, and this healing I send to you is to stop it. Stop you crawling backwards into the filthy things that want to reach you and pull you there. It's very much about the money, because that is one of the biggest tool for the devil to take you, because you need the money. And sometimes is it that you don't need the money, that you want to have the money for to buy. I see that God is showing me a very nice car, and that car, with all the money it cost, that car, it's a black car, is it, that he's showing me, and that means black in the color of the car is first is a direction. The car means direction, and the color black on that car means you going to in that direction of destroy yourself, destroy your life, destroy other people's life. And today we are, it doesn't matter what time you listen at this podcast, because there is no time in heaven. It's only one day in heaven. So that doesn't matter when you are listening to this message. This is a message for you and maybe some other people also, that the direction of the car is black, and it's going to destroy you and destroy other people. You, in this situation, you're not thinking about your mother, how she will cry for you in that decision you make only because of money. And I will tell you, in the way to heal you, that you have and you will get the money to could buy you a car, but not those the fancy cars to brag. It's a sin to brag. So you don't need to go and buy the most hot car you can get. It's your self-egos, and that is, the self-egos can be good to protect you and help you. It did for me, that my self-egos make me to not hurt myself. Before 2000, I was on my way to hurt myself. But I was a drinker as my father. But my self-ego say to me, you are better than that. So I quit drinking. It was not my illness that made me to not drink. It was this, my self-ego say to me that you are better than that, than to lay in a ditch, drunk, laying around with men only for to get something to drink. So I quit drinking. It's I have the healing power is streaming out from me to you. I'm warm in my body, and I will see if God will show me someone else. He's showing me a leg, someone that is not an accident in that way, that you have unluck, that you broke your leg. You're sitting home because you broke your leg, or else you have been out, maybe going to eat something, meet your friends or like that. But just now are you sitting at home and have broken your leg. It may be not broken, but it is, so you have to rest your leg. And that is because God have done that to you, to hold you back from running out and listen to what I'm saying, and in that way get the healing. Not the healing of the leg, that comes with it by time, but to be healed in what I'm telling you from God, what He's telling you with this bad leg. And you hold it up, the leg, straight out your leg, and now I see you like you have pain in your leg because you take your hands and slide it over your leg, and it show, I get it, that you feel so very pity for yourself. You feel pity for yourself very much, and that cause you to not have those right friends, because when they find out that you fake many times, that you have pain, they will not be your friends again. You will only hold into those e- evil people that is waiting for you to be weak so they can take you to be their tools for do crimes, bad things, and that weaning self-pity you have that make you weak. You think you are strong in this. You have manipulated many people through the years, but in fact, that make you weak. That's God's way to say that about weak. You can look it up, what weak means. So it's like a kind of a negative defend to pretend that is so very pity of you. I saw someone was jumping up and jumping like happy. You understand what was saying here. So God is not here for a long time. So he showing with his hand that he is going away now, and this is he have say what he should say to me. He gave me more power to could fulfill what I should do tomorrow in some way that I don't know. I don't know the future. I only know what he did to me here. And I will see what will happen tomorrow. I have no fear because you are with me, God, and you have your stuff with you that is all those in afterlife that you can tell to do things. But I have no fear when God is with me. God is with me tomorrow when I go into the den. So you will see next chapter will be what have going on tomorrow. I hope it will be good because God is good. We need to get a turnaround in what's going on in this world. Thank you and God bless you.